Science, they have a gallery of applications also. One thing is, I found out with particularly the different application, but this is almost like a kind of a commercial, probably Oracle thought to show the flexibility it can offer, because any kind of a commercial application, a big application which is done as a project, so can be a huge application involving multiple developers who over the period of time they develop. So they have a good gallery of different different applications are there. But only thing is, if you are a learner, could be find it difficult. That's where like I designed this course to take you slowly, so that you learn the first we learned about the process, the page processing, even different process, and how the process can have dependencies among them. And then we saw about the task approvals, who has to approve the task approval. Then we just combined that and formed the workflows. Workflow can have the combination of all this process, apart from the front end, appropriate front end screens, front end prompts, front end reports. The process involving process, it can have approvals, and as well as the workflow. All this can be combined and to form an appropriate application. So that is where I designed the course, so that you take it step by step, so that the learning is much more effective. Having said that, you have various various applications, and particularly in recent times, in 24 Oracle Apex 24x or 24.1, which is current version, you have this one as well, sample workflow approvals as task. This is much more bigger than what we saw multi-level approval for expenses, much more elaborate. But yes, you can just to have a feel how the commercial application or a project, bigger project can look like. Probably you can install this and just check how it's working, and just check validate how what is the kind of a coding is the background. So many things you can try out. So you can install this. This application, it is provided free by Oracle. You can install this on your Oracle Apex and see how it's working. So all that is required is the sample workflow approval task. You just say install. So this will give you the, it will take you through the various screen and start installing it. So let's just wait. So now, yeah, it is installed, already installed. The sample workflow task is installed. And if you look out for the pages, you have multiple different pages. I think about 31 different pages are there. So this is just to know that a kind of a complex commercial project based application can have so many things, so many screens. And even if you look at go and look at take a look at the shared components, there are task definition, 8 different task definitions, different approval, bank change. When you run the this one, when we run the application, you'll notice each one. An employee can request for a laptop, they can request for a bank change, job change, salary change. So many things an employee can ask for, and this needs to be approved by the appropriate manager or HR or whoever it is. They have to approve. And even in the workflow, if you look at it, there are 2 workflows. If you look at laptop request, employee appraisals. So there are two different the workflows as well. So yeah, you can take a note. Take a note in the sense you can just have a look what is happening behind the screen, whether any kind of a coding execution code, or whether it is a switch, and if it is a switch, what do they do behind each of the connections. And so this will be a kind of a additional, though as I said, it's kind, because there's so many screens, so many workflows, and there are so many task definition. Without understanding, if you look at it, it's going to be very difficult. You will not understand. But as you progress, building up a small application step by step. When you reach this stage, it becomes much more easier to understand what is happening behind the screen. So I would strongly recommend, once you have gone through, understood what is the process, what is the task definition, how the workflow works, building up a smaller application, and then you look out for the sample application, then yes, it becomes much more easier to understand. So in the next presentation, we'll see how to run this application because it took me a little bit time even when I installed it to look took a little bit because absolutely not much of a documentation is there. So it took a little bit time to understand how it works. So in the next presentation, we'll see how this one works. Stay tuned. Thank you. Run this application, which has about 31 different pages, and it has got about 8 task definition and 2 workflows as well. So kind of a bigger application than what we initially saw. We started building smaller application towards understanding. So let's now run the application. Sample workflow approval task. So if you look at it, this is interesting. Go to this one, login. It gives you some information. Yeah, you can get this from here as well. More information about the workflows, workflow console, workflow detail page, dashboard. What are the backend tables? All those are there. So you can take a look at it, and even the kind of a database design. Again, those who are good with the this kind of a enterprise, I mean entity relationship diagram. Uh, so those who have involved in database design could bit of understand this, but yeah, it's I don't think it's complete. There is not much of joint condition I could see, but then yes, a laptop it has an employee appraiser, I mean appraisal. It has the various entity relationship. So yeah, having said that, yes, let's see how this application work. Go into the login. So interesting factor is that you don't need to. They are designed that way. They have designed an application that you don't need to have a separate user ID because it's a kind of a sample application. So it doesn't have um, separate user ID login. All you need to do is, if you want to log in, then click on that particular user. It will say login as Alan. And if you want to log in as James, log in as James. Click on that. It will not ask for a password. So you can just log in. So operation team, everyone, the operation team. So this one, it's a kind of as I have we have seen, the laptop approval is a kind of there is a workflow, and whatever this is in sync with the earlier we saw multi-level approvals, particularly on the expenses. So initial assignee to for laptop approval. So here in this case, it is not based on the, I mean, earlier with the expenses, it is based on the amount. Here, it is not so. If it expires within certain time, the second assignee of laptop, if first one is something like 1 minute or 1 day, it doesn't get approved, then it goes to the next level as far as the laptops are concerned. And others like some of them like getting asking for a bank change where your salary is credited. That is all more of a task approval rather than coming into a workflow. So basically, let's look at first one is the laptop approval. So I'll log in. So when you say it will go to the, ideally it need to go to Jane as a first level. She has to approve it. So log in as Turner. So go to employees, and that's where you get all the screen. So you can get um, you can also in the employees you can, for others also you can do it. It's allowing for the others also. Assuming yes, your laptop is not working, then probably the others can rise on behalf of you. So in this case, let me do a um, laptop request. Laptop request. I'm going to say Jan 10th. Let me submit it. So once it's submitted, you will see that laptop doesn't. Furthermore, laptop is not assigned. So pending actions, pending approval for Mac for Jane, assigned to Jane. So now let's go into Jane and approve it. My request. So it is there. My request task details, history, all those you can see. What else? So let me log out, sign out, because Jane has the approval. And let's see if it is Pat. Let's see what he can see. So he can see the workflow status. Um, so Turner. So this is waiting for approval. Uh, so it shows us waiting for approval. Now let's get into Jane. Login as Jane, and then my task. Yeah. So it's there and it's waiting. So let's approve it. So this is approved. And now if you go out and log in as pad and see the status, workflow status, it's still active. So it is confirmed delivery. It is so this needs to be confirmed for delivery before it gets completed. So let's get into pending action, um, because again, if you look at it, awaiting delivery. So let's go to Jane herself, login as Jane. So you need to specify a delivery date. So I'll just say delivered today. Let me save it. I've saved the changes. So it has gone out, the laptop order management. And now go into Pat and check what is the status. So workflow status. And now it is completed, because once if you look at um, the workflow diagram, the entire thing needs to be completed, that is including confirm for delivery, then only it gets completed. So once that is done, we sign out and log in. I think we did for Turner, employees, and now if you see Turner, the laptop is still now, because already it is approved. So in case if earlier when he requested, this was disabled, because he is already requested for, and now it is back, laptop is back. So now let's say um, bank change, say AB123. This site, this is I don't think bank request change involves a workflow, but needs to be approved. So let's say for Turner, we want star bank change is change of bank, and now we sign out and log in as Jane. My task. Yeah. So this is more of a, you'll not see a workflow. I don't think you'll see a workflow here. It is a direct task approval. So sign out and I go into login as Pat and workflow status. So it's only, it's that's why it is not showing a workflow details here, because that was just a task approval. So again, if you want to explore the application as such, you could do it. Find out what page, what does it do. You could do that. And as I said, the laptops is through the workflow, and based on, it's not based on the amount for the laptop. It is based on, if one has not approved it, goes to the next level. Something similar to expense approval we have earlier seen. The rest are mostly with related to the task approvals. So it looks kind of a complete application, complete project-based application. It requires time and effort to develop that. This may not be. You need to involve a team who can do it. But even it, this might not. This is just a sample. It will not be a kind of a full-fledged one. But just to have an idea, all these features are possible in the latest version of Oracle Apex. That is in the version 24 onwards it is there. 23, 24 onwards, they have introduced this. Earlier it was not there. If you are using version 19, 20, 21, it was all not there. Now it is all brought in the shared components list with the task definition and workflow. I hope by this you can yourself learn also. But I mean, if you're not have a good understanding of the process or the task definition or workflow, this would have been the sample application would have been difficult to understand. That's where like you need to take it step by step in your learning process. I hope this is useful also towards your learning. Thank you. Cheers.